I get off, Iggy Azalea performs, and then I come back on, and you open up for Pitbull, like legit.
Dang. You look out and you see 15,000 people.
Man, it was nuts.
Welcome to the Dallas Hustlers Club. Here you're gonna hear stories of some of the hardest working people I know. Welcome to the Dallas Hustlers Club.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Dallas Hustlers Club. I'm sitting with one of Dallas's best, in my opinion, bro. The man, the myth, the legend, my guy Mark Cutz. Bro, when I first started following you, you went by DJ Flash.
Yeah, man. You've known me that long?
Yes, I've been like following your work since then, bro. Like just the cut. I mean, everything about you, bro, is super dope, man. So I appreciate you pulling up, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, bro. You're killing it on social media.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I had to be a part of whatever your movement is.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. So let's get right into it, bro. You know, this is actually our first time like meeting in person.
Yeah.
I've been a fan, like I said, for a long time, bro. But tell us a little bit about like Mark Cutz, man. How did you like even get into DJing and to where you are now, man?
Man, it's just when I was really younger, I was just always into music, just like kind of how everyone is. But I was really into like learning how they make certain sounds and stuff like that. So I was my mom knew I was more interested in the production side of things. So when I was around 10, 11, I was like hooked on YouTube DJ videos.
Really?
So when I was like 12, my mom finally scrapped up enough money and got me a Newmark mix deck for Christmas that year, dude. Yeah,
is that the one you'd plug in? Like you could plug in the
iPods?
Yeah. Dang.
It was so nice, man. It was cool. Like I remember that like it was yesterday. We have a picture of me like crying when I opened it.
Dang, bro, that's cool. Amazing.
But ever since then, man, I haven't stopped, and that's when I started. Yeah.
And so, like, once you got the new Mark, like, what, you just got into the room and started like practice? Because, bro, if you've never heard Mark Cutz on the tables, bro, like your word plays, like your creativity, like just the cleanliness of like your cuts and stuff, man, is
That's
crazy.
I mean, that's the way I try to be like a creative DJ. You know,
right.
I don't want to be like. I mean, I am a club DJ where like you can just play the tracks and whatever. I'm playing for the people, but I really love being creative and doing things in a creative way. I like to think that's what helps me stand out a little bit. But for me, it's fun. Like I do it all day, every single day, man. 7 days a week. I'm always 5 days a week. I'm in the studio, and then the weekends I'm DJing.
Yeah.
On the weekends.
So how did you what are like some of the things that you did, bro, to get you to where you are today? Because I mean, I know. It didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? You put in a lot of time, effort, and stuff into
when
this.
When I was 12, when I was like 17, I jumped on Kiss FM in Dallas. Okay. So those years were just me learning as much as possible.
So what were you doing between 12 and 17 to like get you prepared for that?
Man, just a lot of practicing. My first big thing was obviously learn how to mix and use whatever software I was using at the time. And then my next thing was like, I need turntables. Okay. I don't know why, but I wanted turntables. The scratching was super big for me. I loved like Craze and Shifty. I used to watch like tons of just turntablist videos. So yeah, I needed a turntable. That was my next step. When I was like 15, I finally made enough gigs to like go get one and a nice mixer. I only had one turntable and a mixer. And then, just learning, doing as many gigs as possible, like everyone's backyard.
Right.
Like everything.
Whoever needed something,
I said
you're pulling
yes
up.
to everything.
Yeah.
Like, my mom and my dad were super just helpful and supportful.
That's dope,
and
bro.
They went with me everywhere. And then, 17 years old, I met with Mike Morse. He was doing like this cool talent competition. Like if you guys want to be a part of radio DJs, we're starting a cool agency. And he was also part of the Kid Craddock morning show.
Okay.
So I sent him a mix. He loved it. Me and Mike clicked. That was like my mentor for a long time. And that's when I got on Kiss FM. Mike introduced me to Junior, he's the guy that put me on with Enzo. And Yeah.
Shout out to Enzo.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I know Enzo for a long time.
So with that, man, like getting onto the like Kiss FM thing and really I think because people don't realize how hard it is, bro, to like do what you do, dog. Like the scratching, it like that takes a lot of time. It's like being in the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've just recently like gotten to a point where like, bro, I got to really learn how to like scratch and it's, bro, that crap's not easy, dog.
Man, it's not. Yeah. So I guess that's another thing I used to do during that age is like, I had this thing where I would wake up, scratch. Before I went to sleep, scratch. And I did that.
Just repetitiveness.
Yeah. Before I went to school, Came back. Sometimes my mom would let me skip school, and I just
and
I would just enjoy just making sounds.
Right.
My mom would tell me to turn it down a lot.
Right, yeah.
I had a good time.
And I think that's like a big part of it too, right? Like your mom being so supportive, and like, had it not been for that, like first Christmas present of bringing home the Newmart, you wouldn't be where you are today, real, right?
Yeah, that was a big moment. I think that's why like I cried. It's so weird. Like I just felt a lot of emotions, and I think, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I stuck with that. I think when you're dedicated like that and hey, this is my passion, and you just stick with it, I think it just grows naturally.
Nah, for sure, bro. And so you got to Kiss FM, right? What was next from there? Because Kiss FM like is one of the top stations in the DFW, bro.
Yeah, man. I was very, very happy and proud to be with Kiss FM. I was like there for 4 or 5 years. I was doing Club Kiss.
Yeah.
12 to 2. We would switch off I probably did it every other 2 weeks. But man, I was so proud of that. I even brought them to my school.
Dang, bro.
We did like a whole lunch thing, and it was cool, man, because I was really young. So for me, like that was like, oh, this is it. So at that time I was happy where I was and just kind of riding the wave and DJing as much as I can still on the side. But the radio thing was so cool for me. But I realized like, there's not too much money in that. So I started to try to figure out different ways to grow. I started gravitating towards really bigger DJs that are traveling a lot. And then I met up with my man, Danny West. He's like a big mentor of mine. Danny. Shout out to Danny, man. He showed me a lot, introduced me to a lot of people.
He's like the godfather. I feel a lot of people like credit Danny West for like putting them in a position to like eat.
Yeah, you know what he's really good at is he helps you see the bigger picture.
Right.
Even if you're not trying to, he just naturally does that to you. And then just the lifestyle he was living with DJing and traveling and going to LA and playing here. And then I would go with him and I would just see this firsthand and shake all the same hands that, the people that he knew. And that was my next step, was like, okay, I want to travel. Like, I just want to start traveling and doing what this guy's doing. Like, the money was cool, and it's even cooler that you get to experience different cities and experiences instead of the same nightclubs here in Dallas. So that was my big thing. But what was funny was I wasn't even in the clubs in Dallas at all. That wasn't even I was 18, 19. I had a fake ID with Danny, getting into these clubs. So I was like 20 years old, like just taking everything in, but I wasn't in the Dallas scene at all. So I think I did it backwards. I networked with a lot of people outside of my city, and I was traveling here and there, but I wasn't doing too much in Dallas.
But I hear sometimes people say like, sometimes you have to leave.
Yeah.
And like get big outside, and then that way people in your city realize like, oh dang, he's big out there. Like we got to bring him here back home,
Yeah, for sure. I think it panned out that way for me. It was great. And I have a lot of people. Yeah, of course now like I have a lot of people who helped me in Dallas for sure. But yeah, at that time I still didn't know who was what and what was doing what, because I wasn't in the clubs, like just enjoying myself. I was too young to go. So yeah, that was just a whole different scene for me for sure. But that was my next step.
Crazy, bro. So y'all, you get with Danny West, y'all are traveling around, and then you make your way back to Dallas. Is that kind of like how it panned out?
I mean, I've always stayed in Dallas, for sure. But like, I started making when I was like 21. I was like, okay, I want to start doing the clubs.
Yeah.
And I started slowly just, planting the seeds with different people and DJing at clubs like when they needed a slot in. So I started doing that. And then I got my first residency at Punk Society, which wasn't that too much long ago. I'm like 22.
Sure.
And now I'm just kind of riding that wave.
Nice, bro. And I know, and I see you're doing like, I feel like you're kind of starting to transition though. Like, of course you're still DJing, right? But I see you doing a lot of production too.
Yeah, man. So that's my
sort of Patreon.
That's my big thing, man. Production is like my baby. I love DJing, always will be like a DJ mindset for sure. But I'm starting to realize my love's not really too much in the club scene and stuff. It's actually at home in the studio, making, different edits and editing music and seeing it being played by other DJs is just a super cool feeling, man.
And it's funny you say that because I feel like sometimes as DJs, we get the misconception of like, we love to party, like we're the center of attention, which, it's nice occasionally, but like I'm kind of the same way, right? Like I'm not really big in the club. Like I don't really club a lot, It's something that I do more like private events, but it's just something that I do, right? I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like doing it to be like center of attention.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think everyone thinks that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not I'm definitely not that at all. I'd rather be at home just chilling,
Yeah.
watching a movie or something.
Right.
But no, I think everyone kind of feels like every DJ wants to be out and wants to be drinking and wants to be, around just all the people. And man, honestly, I just would rather do my job. I have a few homies with me all the time, and I just do my job and I go home, man.
Yeah.
That's it. And sometimes after the club, I come home and I open the laptop and
get right back to it.
get my edits out, for sure.
So with the Patreon, bro, like how does that working out for you? Like, are you putting out edits weekly? Like, that's got to be a lot of work, bro.
I just started a Patreon in November.
Okay.
And I've had people telling me forever because I get a lot of love on DJ City.
Right.
I get people hitting
I always
me up
see your tracks like #1, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
like it's all they're all like the Mark Cutz edit, like hype edits. Like they're
That's
always going crazy, bro.
I'm glad that it does that, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I get geeked out every time I see it's in a hot box for sure.
Yeah, bro.
And even though it happens, like I still never really take that, and I'm like, I want to make something better. Let's do something better than that. Oh man, it's been great. I'm knocking out more now, so I'm definitely, like I said, I'm living a life of like 6 days a week in the studio, and then on the weekends just
it's like, how many edits are you putting out, bro? Like a month?
So I do 40 a month for Patreon. It's 20 every 2 weeks at least. Yeah, and then I might slow it down a little bit.
Right.
But, that's what I've been doing the last few months. And then for Beat Source, I have to make intros for them.
Okay.
I do, how many am I doing? I do 20 a week. It ends up 80 a month.
Dang, bro.
And then for DJ City, I have to do at least 1 or 2 a week.
And how do you because I recently kind of started messing around with Ableton, bro. Mm-hmm. That crap's not easy, dog.
No, it's
like especially like getting everything warped and synced. And I'm like, bro, I'll be sitting there for like hours trying to figure out how to warp this acapella.
Yeah.
Right. And like I've talked to a lot of guys like, oh, well, you just gotta like keep trying. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So to hear you're doing that many edits a month, bro, is nuts.
Yeah, one day when I was like 22, around that age, I just had like an epiphany and was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna turn myself into a monster and really just learn how to do Ableton and DJ and scratch and just be the best of both
bro,
worlds.
Because you're like one of the few DJs that I see that can really do it all, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like seriously, like there's like some guys are really good at scratching, but they don't produce. Or some guys only produce, but they're not so great as turntablists, bro. But like legit, man. Like for a long time, I've been like I said, since the DJ Flash days, like seeing the work that you've been putting in, bro. So appreciate like props to you, man, because I know it's not easy.
No, it's not. I mean, but it's fun.
Right.
Like, when you love something, it's just natural. You know, I sacrifice a lot of time to just do my craft, man. And it's not because I don't want to be around people or anything like that. It's just simply because I love doing it. So I just man.
And I think that's one of the hardest parts, like about doing what we do, is that it is very time consuming. And if you want to be good at it, you got to put in the time, bro. There's no cheating the grind, like they say, And so, your family suffers, and like if you have kids, they, you kind of like aren't able to be with them all the time,
friends too. Like,
exactly, bro.
When I hang out and you're like, man,
I got a gig or I got this going on, right?
Or even if it's not at that moment, like I got to at least prep or just take an hour nap,
or create content, or it's just anything, always something.
Yeah, man. I feel bad a lot of times. Sometimes even my family will tell me I'm overworking, and I'm like, that's not the case. I just really enjoy loving, exactly what I'm doing, and the life that it's bringing me is awesome, man. I've never really had to work like a normal job,
bro. And you're like doing something you love, and like you're able to live comfortably, so it's crazy, man. So I know not only are you doing all that, right? I see you're on Sirius, like the Pitbull's Globalization. Are you doing a mix show now there, or what?
Yeah. So every single Sunday with Crisco Kid, we do it's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Every single Sunday we do like a block party. So it's just an hour of me playing all the best fun music. They give me total freedom, which is why I love.
So you could just do whatever. You could just do whatever, bro.
I can play any kind of genres, or
because like when you're doing like, let's say Kiss FM, right? Don't they give you like a list of like tracks that you can pull from?
Yeah. So being from Kiss FM, it was totally different. When you get that freedom, it's amazing, man. It was definitely worth it. I left Kiss FM, and I was super bummed about it for like 2 months, and then the opportunity for SiriusXM came up. Like it was like perfect timing, but I was super happy because Kiss FM only gives you, from when I was doing it, they'll give you 16 songs you can play in an hour.
Oh, wow.
So you have to play either extended remixes or somehow loop the songs to make sure that you can fit that.
So within that whole hour, you can only use 16 songs.
Yeah, it would be 8 and then 8.
Dang.
Yeah, so 2 segments, 16. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Enzo will tell you, man. Sometimes it was impossible. I was like, I don't know how we do this.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really mix fast.
Right.
So it forced me, since I was such a tryhard, it would force me to like mix acapellas on top of the songs to make it feel like it's multiple songs and do scratch breaks into the songs and stuff like that. So I was just trying my best to be what I've always wanted to be on radio with the limits that they gave me. So when I went to globalization, dude, I was just unleashed.
Right, you're like, the beast is free.
Here we go, yeah.
Bro, because I saw in your stories the other day, you did like I think it was Fuerza Regida over like a Debbie Deb.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like, what? So like being able to like have that creative freedom, you know, is like, as a DJ, you're like, oh, hell yeah, bro.
Man, it's super cool. And people on globalization really appreciate it, which is great. I'll have people like show a video and like, yo, we're tuned in and that edit was insane or that transition was cool. And that's this definitely makes it all worth it.
That's great. And then not only that, you're also DJ City, right? Like you're on DJ. If you guys aren't subscribed to DJ City, it's one of the dopest record pools. But what do you do? I know you do edits. Is that the main kind of thing you're doing with DJ City? So on
top of the edits and the remixes, I give them. I also propose other remixes and edits. So I'm curating a lot of different remixes and of other editors.
Okay.
So I'll find editors that are hot that are not already exclusive to another pool, and I'm like, yo. Let's get you on board. Let's fill you out. I'll do that. I've been doing that for a while. But recently I just got promoted to doing the hip hop director.
Yeah.
Which is great, man. I love hip hop. All my edits are mainly hip hop. Sure. I'm a hip hop kind of guy, but when they gave me that role, it's really cool because now I'm not only worried about what edits we need to make, but like make sure we have the hot hip hop songs that are in the clubs. And it's great. It's easy for me because I'm in the club scene.
Right.
So I'm hearing and reacting what people actually want compared to like the corporate poppy hip hop music or top 40 hip hop music. So I'm getting more of what the streets want onto the site. So that way, you know, you get the best of both worlds when you're on DJ City. You get the corporate side, the street side. And then I'm also curating like hip hop playlist on there as well. I put 3 up. I have the up tempo hip hop. It's called Flip Hip Hop. I've helped out with where it's basically hip hop songs that have been flipped or remixed that are really really dope edits.
Okay.
And then I'm doing primetime hip hop, which is like hip hop that's tried and tested in the clubs that you're definitely gonna want.
Like primetime times to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So more like, more of the ratchet stuff that you're gonna definitely play at 1 a.m.
Yeah, right, The ski-yee?
Yeah, ski, all that. A bunch of skis.
Right, yeah, bro.
For sure.
Man, so I know it hasn't been easy, bro, getting to this point, right? Like all the hard work you've put in, it's like you started from the bottom, now you're here. Or you're getting there, right?
Yeah.
But like, what are some of the things that like stick out to you that like, dang, bro, like that was a tough moment in my life, and like how did you get through that?
Yeah, so one of the most challenging moments was when my daughter was born. That was in 2020 when my now fiance is pregnant or was pregnant. That was one of the hardest moments for me because I guess, I don't know, when you're about to be a father, you get this feeling that you need to step up and be the best that you can be. So I wanted to do that. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot to get us a house hopefully before the baby is here. So I stopped what I was doing. It was also COVID during this time, so I couldn't work. I was depressed because I couldn't go DJ. And then I had a baby coming, and I got me my first real job like ever. I went and just started doing Amazon just to kind of
supplement,
prove some income so I can get me a house. I did that for a whole year on top of continuing with globalization, continuing with DJ City. So yeah, and then my baby was born. I was still doing it for about another year. And yeah, I kept up doing the clubs. The clubs started picking back up a little bit. It was still COVID, but clubs started picking back up. So I was DJing, doing Amazon during the day, doing edits when I would get home, and then had a newborn baby. I'm a first-time father.
Bro, it ain't no joke, dog.
All that was just like, man, no sleep, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that was a hard time, man. I even went through like a sort of a depression for a good year, even after I got all those things. I finally did get the house, and I got the studio, and my baby is healthy, but I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just too much stress that I had, and then all of a sudden I just started living. Everything that I had wished for was here.
Right.
it was weird because I was going through this weird depression, but I think it's just because I was pushing myself really hard. But I overcame that, and things are been amazing the last 4 years, man.
Bro. That's great to hear, man. Because I feel like sometimes, a lot of times, you know, like you said, as fathers, especially, man, like that's just such a big burden, like not burden, but like weight to carry, right? You got all this stuff. You don't want to stress your significant other out, and you know you got your kids, right?
Yeah.
So man, bro, like just to see you continue shining, man, like it's inspiring.
Thanks, man.
So, bro, like let me ask you, you know, another thing, man. Like, out of everything that you've done as a DJ, bro, like what would you say is like your, like this is your moment? You're like, dang, bro, did that really happen? Like your proudest moment?
Oh yeah, man, for sure. It's definitely when I opened up for Pitbull. The first time was insane. I was in Austin, and it was about a venue of about 15,000 people. Bro. And I played while people were sitting down, but I also played while right after Iggy Azalea when they were all pumped up already. So the first time I'm cool, you know, people are just getting their seats, but I'm on the stage, so I'm sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's not full. And then I get off, and then Iggy Azalea performs for like a half an hour, and then I come back on for about. They give you 12 minutes.
12 minutes?
And you open up for Pitbull, like legit.
Dang. So you got to get them ready.
Yeah, man. So I got up there and I was just like, I'm so nervous. I get up there though and I'm playing and it just flows. And I look up and everyone's just singing. And that was just one of the moments where I was like,
I made it.
This is nuts. Yeah.
Bro, like, so what was that like though, bro? Like, you know, you've been doing this since you said 12, right? When you got that new, and stepping onto the stage for the first time, you look out and you see 15,000 people, bro. Man,
it was nuts. It
was
nuts.
I would have fainted.
Yeah, it was crazy. I needed a shot of alcohol for sure. Yeah. I was definitely sweating and I had the nervous hands, you know, when you're turning the knobs. But I'm telling you, once
you got in your zone,
once you get grooving and they're feeling what you're giving them, is just, you forget about that. And then there was a moment where they were just singing a song. I pulled it down and
they're all, oh my God.
And bro. I was just like, whoa, like you can just feel that goosebumps through your body. It was definitely one of the most.
Did you get a chance to meet him? Too?
Yeah, I've shook his hand, but it hasn't like been words.
Okay,
like, just going down the runway. Yeah. But no, I haven't got to meet him. No, but I work for him on globalization, so I'm really close to a lot of his team.
Gotcha. Yeah. And not a lot of people can say that they have a Pitbull drop.
Yeah,
with their name on it. You know what I'm saying? Like
that was super cool. Yeah, bro, for sure.
Like that's always been like. The drops when you have like celebrities say your name, it's like, oh, bro, like I'm gonna use this every chance that I get.
Man, when I got it, all my friends were like, every time I talk to them, they're like, "Dale."
Yeah. That's crazy, bro. You know, before we wrap it up, man, like what, you know, there's a lot of young, I'm sure there's a lot of young DJs that look up to you, bro. There's a lot of, and I mean, even DJs that aren't, you know, like from myself, bro, like seeing everything you're doing, like what is, you know, a couple pieces of advice that you could give to those younger guys that are like, hey, man, maybe you're not where you're at, where you want to be just yet, but how can they get there? What's that advice?
My advice would be to just continue and never stop, man. If you can just keep going, I think the universe and God will bless you and continue to give you what you want. But I think you need to also step out and make friends that are also doing what you're doing, and they help motivate you. I think that's a big thing. And also just falling in love with what you're doing. It's a no-brainer,
right, bro?
It's gonna happen if you love it. It's gonna happen, and you're gonna do it more, and you're gonna get better, and you're gonna grow. But yeah, I think those are some good steps, man, for sure.
Nice, bro. Well, I appreciate you, Mark, man.
Yeah.
And where like people are looking for you, I mean, where can they find you on social media? You want to plug anything? Like,
yeah, man, for sure. I'm at DJ Mark Cutz, DJ MarkCutz. All platforms except Twitter because I got kicked out. But you'll still find me with that if you just search that up. And then listen to me on SiriusXM every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern with my man Crisco. And then DJs, you can find all my edits on DJ City, or if you want some of my personal edits on my Patreon. Yeah.
And what's the price on the Patreon, bro?
$10. Yeah.
For 20 edits?
Yeah.
A month? That's not
you get 40. Yeah.
Bro, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You got to go. Because, bro, I've subscribed to some Patreons. I'm not going to name any names. They give you like 5 edits, you know, and it's like $30. And I'm like, bruh, like.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, some of them are really good, but still, man, 40 edits for $10 is a no-brainer, man. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for stopping by. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, We're out.
Peace.